Hey there. Welcome to another episode of the Tailgate Talks. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Fatwood. Now I've done some other videos using Fatwood as tinder material, but I thought I should explain a little bit about where it actually comes from. So if you've seen my videos, this is probably pretty much what the Fatwood looked like that was in my videos. I took the back of my knife, I scraped this down, made a whole lot of shavings, did a whole lot of sniffing because this stuff smells awesome. This is actually manufactured. Not really manufactured because it is all natural, but it was packaged up and sold in a store. It was a lot easier for me to find this, especially whenever I'm doing classes and things and doing demonstrations. But I wanted to show you how you could actually just go out and collect this. Now, if you live anywhere where there's pine trees, some pine trees are going to be better than others for this. It's something in your area you're going to have to go, and look around and check different trees to see. So here's a cross section, and I'll hold it up closer to the camera here. Here's a cross section of a pine tree, a dead pine tree that we cut down and then we sliced open so that we could look inside of it. So this is the branch where the branch will come up. And if you have pine trees in your area, you're probably familiar with the fact that, the lower branches die. So as the tree grows, the lower branches die and the greener branches are up higher. Well, when this branch dies, basically what happens is the tree kind of cuts it off because it doesn't want to waste the nutrients and the energy for a dead branch, because it wants to focus on the higher up branches that can collect the moisture, the rain, and the sun. So what it's going to do is it's going to cut this off. It's not going to let anything flow up into this branch. And then what's going to happen is we have all this sap, this resin in these branches, and gravity is going to kind of make this flow down and make it concentrate down here in this lower section of this branch. So that's what this is. This is where a branch would have come in to the tree. So now you're going to usually find Fatwood down within like 6 inches of the end of the branch. And I'll pull this up here so you can see a little better. So you can see over here how red this is and how shiny. And if you were to scrape that off and smell it, you'd definitely be able to tell it was Fatwood. One of the best ways to know Fatwood is to get some and to smell it and to recognize that smell because it's very distinctive. Now, we're looking at this, so what we can do, especially if this is a dead tree, we could chop into this and we could remove this branch. Now, I've also found a lot, especially like this one, if you can see it's starting to turn punky here on the sides. So I could have actually taken this branch and probably wiggled it pretty good and actually pulled this whole section out of here. And you're going to find this doesn't rot the way this does. This goes right in between where this is starting to rot, but it's not rotting at all. So what you can find if you're lucky, so this is a giant piece of Fatwood that I found on a dead pine tree. What happened is, I believe it was blown over in a storm, and so that's a little bit different way of it producing. I think that's basically like the tree has died but it doesn't know it yet, so it just keeps pumping this sap and this resin up into there, but it has nowhere to go, so it just gets really concentrated. And that's how they produce this. They'll go and they'll cut the pine tree off and they'll leave the stump there, and then it'll come back, I don't know, months later for this, and the tree has still been producing, and it all gets concentrated in here. And then they come back and they cut this off, and then they section it up and cut it up into the pieces that you're able to buy at a hardware store. Now up here in the north, I honestly, it was only recently I've ever even heard of Fatwood, but down south I know that they use it a lot just as to start a fire in their fireplace and stuff, and that's why it's commercially produced. Like I said, I hate to use that word because it is all natural, but it is somebody going out and specifically trying to get Fatwood and cutting it down, packaging up, and selling it. So that's a little bit about Fatwood. If you're in the hardware store, look around for it and get some and mess around with it. It is great stuff. Wish I'd have known about when I was a kid. I would have been collecting that all the time. So thanks for watching.